Women in various cities of Turkey have been pouring onto the streets against gender-based violence. They fear that the ruling Justice and Development Party will pull out of an international accord designed to protect women. The agreement, commonly known as the Istanbul Convention, is a legally binding set of guidelines. It creates a comprehensive legal framework to combat violence against women. It lays the emphasis on preventing domestic violence, protecting victims, and prosecuting offenders. Now, this agreement is especially important for Turkey. A United Nations report published in 2016 tells us why. It says that at least 38% of Turkish women had experienced physical or sexual violence inflicted by their partner. Another Istanbul-based advocacy group, which goes by the name We Will Stop Femicide, says that the number of women murdered by their partner is increasing. Reports put together by activists show that this year, 205 women in Turkey have been killed in domestic violence-related cases. In 2019, the number was at 417. As recently as last month, a 27-year-old woman was brutally murdered, allegedly by a previous partner. Now, why does the AKP want to withdraw from an accord meant to protect women? AKP leaders say erosion of family values, importation of Western values, and normalization of what they call LGBT lifestyles. Now, these reasons have not gone down well with activists. They say that pulling out of the Istanbul Convention is an enactment of slaughtering all women.
İçinde koruma sağlanmasını, maddi ve manevi yardım sağlanmasını gözaltı ve baskı uyguluyor. Biz buradan tekrardan diyoruz ki
Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Genelde ne olur hastanelere gittiğimizde zaten kadınların yaşamları tehdit altında bu memlekette. Bir de İstanbul Sözleşmesi'nin ortadan kaldırılması demek kadınların toplu katliamının aslında fermanını yazmak demektir. Bu nedenle bugün buradayız. Her ne kadar hükümet ertelediğini söylese de sözleşmeyi değerlendirmeyi ertelemek değil, bu tartışmayı tamamen ortadan kaldırması talebiyle bugün buradayız.
The debate has not just created a split in the ruling party, but also among family members of the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. His son, Bilal Erdogan, has called for Turkey to revoke the convention. On the other hand, his daughter, Sumaya Erdogan, is pushing for Turkey to stay. Now, Erdogan himself has stayed silent on the issue until now, but it will be debated by the Central Executive Committee. Now, our political analyst, Onurum, is live with us from Istanbul for more. Good evening to you. There's a huge outcry over Turkey possibly pulling out of this international accord that is in place to protect women against gender-based violence. Why would they pull out of this accord?
It's not a question of pulling out of the accord. It's more a question that has been raised to partially remove or put a reservation on a couple of parts, small parts of the convention that the Turkish public or some of the public is having question marks whether it is promoting the lifestyles of LGBTQ persons, which is indeed a conversation or a debate that is going on in also most of Europe about the Istanbul Accord.
Right, but take us through some of the ramifications of the removal from this accord that clearly lays out the emphasis on preventing domestic violence, protecting victims and prosecuting offenders. This is going to leave women much more vulnerable.
In essence, it might. But again, the question that's being raised has nothing to do with any part of the accord that is raising awareness or that is setting standards against violence to women and children or domestic violence. The entire debate in Turkey is going over what seems to be a rather small part, which some in the country are afraid that is promoting non-heterosexual lifestyle. There is no debate beyond that. Nobody's arguing the parts about where it would prevent or raise awareness against violence against women or domestic violence. So let's set that straight for a second. However, the way the debate has been brought to public attention was as if Turkey is discussing removing herself from the entire accords entirely, which is not the case. May I also remind that there are more than a few countries in Western Europe that is having the same debate as we speak.
All right. This issue, this debate has proved to be very divisive, even within Erdogan's own household, with his son and daughter disagreeing. But Erdogan himself has remained silent so far. What do we make of this?
I think it seems that these questions that are being raised right now, especially stressing on the LGBTQ persons' lifestyles, seems like it's being brought up to Erdogan's attention for the first time. At least that's what we make it, since he hasn't said anything yet. I'm sure he's evaluating how to handle the situation, because there's not a single soul in Turkey, at least in politics, at least publicly, talking about anything other than preventing violence against women, preventing violence against children, preventing domestic violence. But he also has there's also a number of constituents in Turkey that are very sensitive about the government emphasizing or easing or taxpayer-funded actions that may seem like, or they may be like, promoting non-heterosexual lifestyles. So he seems to be caught between a rock and a hard place, because on one hand you got the very sensitive violence issue, especially against women and children. On the other hand, you got what seems to be a very valid issue about what people's beliefs are. So it's a hard decision to make, and everybody is waiting to see how he handles this. But I don't think anybody is considering, especially President Erdogan, about pulling away from this accord entirely. Again, the only question, the only debate is on the parts of that accord that is argued to be promoting non-heterosexual lifestyle by the government, by the taxpayer. That is the only question in Turkey. There are deeper debates in Western Europe going on right now on the same issue that go beyond taxpayer money, that go beyond governmental subsidies.
All right, Ona, thank you very much for joining us for the latest on that.